Good afternoon. This is your BTV News broadcasting live from Gaborone. I am Kailo Sabon.
And I am Khomotsego Utukile. Let us start with the headlines. Tawana Land Board allocates over 10,000 plots this year, 6,000 plots short of that target.
And a thunderstorm in Makopong and Dryhoek leaves a trail of destruction.
While the first Botswana Football Summit to open dialogue on local sporting issues.
Dumelang, we are with Olikili Bonyi Mabitsenga Tusa on sign language. Now, the Tawana Land Board has managed to allocate 11,965, falling short of their set target of 17,918. This allocated land is part of the 100,000 quota set by the Ministry of Lands and Water Affairs to be allocated to Botswana for the financial year 22-23. Chairperson for the Tawana Land Board, Meria Mukhetsi Yengege, provided this update at the Chair Ladies Ball celebration for Tawana Land Board members.
Tawana Land Board oversees 6 sub-land boards including Shakawe, Soronga, Gumare, Nokaneng, Sihitwa and Maung. So far, they've managed to allocate 11,965 plots, both residential and business.
We all know that we have been given a target of 100,000 nationally, and in that target, as Tawana Land Board, we were given a target of 17,918 plots to be allocated. So we are at 67% as Tawana Land Board, which means we managed to allocate 11,965 residential plots in the year 2022-2023. However, as you can see that there is still a shortfall in reaching our target, I can only request all of us to expedite plot allocation so that we can meet our target before the financial year 2024, which ends at the 31st of March.
Harugua kamatlot na se ne ke se itsile le gore ke ha o tlogetseng teng o tlogetse o hudugile o ile go batla the same use elsewhere kwa le ha gona le Setswana se se reng matlotla re leng mme hela gone na ne ke itse go wa bono kgaogane le gone. Jaanong Botswana, we are taking these registrations as an opportunity to have another piece of land. For more gore bakela mathata a mantsi as the land boards.
Tawana Land Board recently appointed new board members to manage and administer land, and the newly elected board promised to continue allocating land to reach the set target.
The Tawana Land Board staff, we need to thank them immensely, because for Tawana Land Board to implement the resolution ya we le gore tota ke bone ba e leng gore ba tshwere tiro e leng gore rona ra go deliver the end product. Le hatse kana la rona ba ga itsolile ngwehela mme bile le hatse la rona ga le ngamoge le hatse la rona ke lone hela la Botswana le tshwantse re le dire re le somarela ya ka sekano sa rona se bua gore somarela le hatse boloka isago.
Tawana Land Board is recognized for a job well done in assisting the Ministry of Lands and Water Affairs to reach their set target of allocating 100,000 plots for the 2022-2023 financial year. Anthony Tawarang, BTV News, Maung.
The councillor for Makopong and Dryhoek villages, Mr. Moses Chimbombi, says a thunderstorm in the area has destroyed some of the houses in Pepeng and Makopong villages. He had visited some of the affected residents and confirmed that despite the damaged property, there were no fatalities.
Out of the 6 families affected by the natural disaster, 3 houses had their roofs blown off, causing them to lose electricity instantly. According to the affected families, the thunderstorm, which comprised of strong winds, only lasted for a few minutes but left a trail of destruction.
Phego ya teng e hitile
In Makopong, the clinic was also affected, while in Pepeng, several homes were destroyed. Affected families said social workers worked around the clock to assist them with tents and food. I went to my grandmother's home just for a few minutes. The next day, my husband came rushing in, telling me our home was destroyed by the rain. The social worker gave us groceries only. Mr. Chimbombi appealed to families to use rain and wind-proof methods on their houses and to firmly secure their roofs. He appealed to residents of both villages to assist affected families with accommodation and other essentials such as food. BTV News, Pepeng.
Now, physical training, good diet and mental health are said to be critical in attaining good health. The Member of Parliament for Kgalagadi North, Metalita Monakota, stressed this when addressing runners following a 25-kilometer race in Hukunzi recently.
This 25 kilometers marathon walk, which is the first of its kind to be held in Hukunzi, is said to have the potential to allure tourists to this village and its surroundings.
I'm going to if you believe
a re nne re ha re ntse re tsamaya mo re rotloetse one mogopolo wa HR25 le ngwaga o tlang gore re tle re dire Hukunzi e le lefelo la boetelo.
Se ke lemoga e le tshimologo ya dilo tse dikgolo ke lemoga gore re simolotse go itemoga re le baihadu re le bangologa re le ba dikgaolo tse di ka kwano re simolotse go itemoga gore re boma.
These attendees were encouraged to make a habit of holding this event more often.
We are what we are because of what we eat. There's no way your brain can function without carbohydrate. What matters is the type of carbohydrate that you choose. A healthy diet is a diet that has carbohydrates, the carbohydrates that are not refined, that are high in fiber. You avoid refined carbohydrates.
Mental health ba ga etso ya oketsega ba ta gore re leke go hapoga dilo tse leng gore di a promote go thakana yana o nyenyale batho yana o dira goal ya go tswa ha go ba 5 kilometers. It's sort of training your mind.
This event is said to be efficient in strengthening friendships and unity amongst the residents of this area. Neo Mudingwa, BTV News, Hukunzi.
The Botswana Police Women Network Group in Takatokwane has donated food hampers to 10 underprivileged residents of Maboani village. This donation is part of the Police Service's social responsibility program aimed at uplifting less privileged members of the community. Priti Mokhwetsi.
Police Women Network Group was formed in the year 2009 with the aim of preventing crime in the society and fighting all social ills concerning women. This group has 23 members in this district from all the 5 police posts situated in this district.
ke thulaganyo e re na le wena ngwaga le ngwaga ra e dira mme re be re tsaya tshwetso ya gore mme gompieno ga re ikgopole re le nosi ra go gopola le ba bangwe ba e leng gore ba thokile lesego mo setšhabeng re be re ikopanya re le bomme re be re re a re tsenya matsogo mo dipateng tsa rona re kgaogane se re na le sone le ba malapa a rona se se seong re be re ntsha madi re be re kopanya madinyana a re ne ra ntshitse re be re kgona gore re be re ithulaganya ka re ithulagantseng ka teng se re be re nna le yone mephuthonyana ele so re ile kwa setšhabeng botswana policy ba gaetsho go toa lekalana le e leng gore re bereka gaufi thata le setšhaba ra be re itse gore go diragala mo metseng e re tshelang mo go yone.
The receivers expressed gratitude towards this group and they were urged to avoid mishandling these gifts.
A re ska re kgantele ke heta ebe ke rekisetswa cooking oil ka 10 pula nna ke a go e reka a ke re nna ke a e tlhoka wena o ihilwe mahala a re go di somarela a re go itse gore gompieno modimo ya ra a re nesetsa pula a re halesa molomo
ke leboga ba sepodisi gore tanki ta ga ba mpiletsa elela ntha ke tsena mo ke benkgotswaza ke re a botoka bongwana ka be a gola le bitshiri.
Groups of this nature have been advised to continue with the spirit of compassion to help where the government is lacking, as that would go a long way in bringing joy to less privileged members of society. Priti Mokgweetsi, BTV News, Maboani.
Now you're watching BTV News and thank you for staying with us. Now, residents of Tonota and surrounding villages, like many Botswana across the country, relished on the beauty of the Kwaere, which form part of the local Christmas celebrations. The Marakanelo Inter Choir, Leba Ulese, and the National Arts Festival competition winners, Tokhamo Choir, entertained the residents with choirs. Abigail Madorobo.
Despite the torrential downpours, traditional choirs revealers still had a good time to enjoy the songs and dance. Tokhamo Choir founder, Mr. Peter said, the main objective of the choir is to give the genre exposure so that choirs can be hired and make a better income. He said the choir does not only preserve culture, but also assist to mold young people's behavior.
Re bone gore re tshegetsa ngwao le go ihitisetsa ko bananeng ga o kaela thoko re na le bana ba banyenyane go simolola ko preschool go a go tsena ko bagolong mme ebile mo godimo ga go le yone youth ya gare re tsentse gore bagolo ka dinako tse dingwe re nna hatshe ba ba ruta di-life skills gore dilo tse dingwe ba kopana le tsone mo botshelong ba itse gore ke dilo tse e leng gore di a diragala ga se gore ke phelelo ya botshelo wa kopana le dikgotho mme o a tsoga o tswelele gape o siame bo lebale le tse di kileng tsa heta ga ra ite ba re le mokgatho re le nosi re lebile le ba ba thokileng lesego mo setšhabeng ra ba abela sekai re kgonne go neela Simotswane primary dikhomputara di ka nna 6 re kgonne go bona bangwe bathoki turubo mma boipelego le bone re ba abela dijo
ra na itebagantse thata le go somarela ngwao le ka ga saele ya dikwaere re itebagantse gape le go thusa bo dikutsana yana we give back to the community.
Re shota di-sponsora tota ra isponsora rona yaanong ga go lekane o ithelele gore go ko tase thelere mo lesekereng le le senkana ka sepe mo e leng gore ga le le gore go gongwe ka re ga re ntse re tsamaile mongwe a re thomogela pelo a kgone gore thusa re ka kgona go nna le kgolo e bogela.
One of the choir music fans, Mr. Simisani Khama, said, giving other choirs an opportunity to perform on the same platform with national arts icon Tokhamo Choir will help other choirs to benchmark and improve their performance.
Ke choir ya Tokhamo e tswang ka ko Mandunyane ke choir ya Lebaolese e tswang ka ko Masimona Mabole ka ene gore re tswa ka teng ka kwa choir tse o ka go kologela motswane se gore Tokhamo ke yone choir e le gore nna e phadisa ke le di choir tsa go kgateng mme ano ga re bona e na le choir e leng gore ya Lebaolese ra itumela thata ka gore go mo go ra gore sene se leng gore Tokhamo ya se dira gore kgone gore e nne e le gone e tsere number 1 jalo nako tse tsothetse mo di regionaleng tsa rona ka kwana ya no gore le ba le seta sanya.
Private companies were urged to come on board and sponsor such activities so that participants can be able to put food on the table. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News,
Tonota.
Now, some residents of Silibe Pikwe treated their families to a delicious Christmas lunch in Bosele Hotel on Monday. This is part of the Christmas culture of sharing and family reunions. Karabo Mulusi captured the moment.
In a world where the institution of family is negatively affected by various challenges that hinder its effectiveness, the tradition of celebrating the festive season as a family, sharing special meals, and the excitement of children wearing new clothes, some residents and businesses in Silibe Pikwe continue to keep the tradition relevant.
We're catering for almost 100 people. On our menu, we had the roast sirloin with horseradish. We had the gammon, the pasta. It's because some of the things that we hardly cook them at home. So yeah, we learn it to never retlo go jabo di gammon yana. Mo teleng li date rentele bana le so tlo arapile beetroot le rice le tomato sauce every day.
Mawanne re ntse re iketile ba ra apele dijo tsa rona go lapeng. Tsatsene bo ngwana ke bo ba ntsha go tero iphukisa pheo ke ha re ta gone ha go bose he ke jela na mangu ya pele ngwana tibile e budile ka ya go bona meno a suta yana ga tshware sente nya yene ke ja monate le kuku ya pele sente monate.
We are a family of 5. The girls that are around here, they are playing around. Thought that we just came here to celebrate Christmas and have a good day. We had good food, 3-course meal. We had good photos. We're just looking forward to crossover year 2024.
The lunch tradition is not the only practice that the residents hold in high regard. They also decorate their homesteads.
Bontsi je di product tse le gore ne re di stocking now that out of stock di rekilwe hela thata like ko bo di caking kwa di tsamaile hela thata ko bakery ya rona e did well ko butchereng kwa stock ka bontsi se tsamaile se rekisitse a le tsa di Christmas decorations ane di saeme because customer ne ba ithela le gore motho a lo wana khono bata di thare le bo 3 a nna ba tsenya di order hela ya lo ba nna bangwe re ha di ta ibile di a heta tota ne di saeme mo ile gore ke fila gore gongwe ba bangwe ba di thaetse mo go ba bangwe.
Experts say family celebrations enhance emotional health and foster a sense of belonging. Karabo Mulusi, BTV News, Silibe Pikwe.
And that brings us to the end of the news for this hour. Stand by for sports news with Josejo.
Let me thank you, Khomotsego, and greetings to you all. As she has already mentioned, I'm Khosronko, bringing to you in context the sports news. And with that, let's get straight into it and start with the top leading story. The organizer of the much-anticipated Botswana Football Summit, Owe Mulawa, says that preparations for the Football Summit are gaining momentum. Botswana Football Summit is an ideal platform aimed at opening a dialogue and discussion with the sport industry leaders on the growth of the game and future dynamics. The summit, which will be held in March, will be a first of its kind and is set to attract professionals, both local and internationally, to discuss a variety of topics, amongst them sports sponsorship, contract management, sport administration, revenue in sports, endorsement facilitations, to mention a few.
The Botswana Football Summit, like you just said, rightfully so, it's a platform where we intend to create a dialogue or to open a dialogue. We are knowledge sharing on various sectors, stadium and football in Botswana. That is your revenue in sport, your sport sponsorships, your sport marketing, your sport administration. Motoka botsa gore me what led to this. Ke gore re ne ra nna ha ba tsheberile ma gore at times ha gongwe re nna re re ga re tse the right part, we are not moving with the right pace at the right pace with other setups. Maybe what have we done from our end to equip people with the proper knowledge, proper skills, and also bring people at that level. To come and share knowledge with us, share the experiences with us. So in our view and undertaking, then we felt Botswana Football Summit is a proper forum to to kickstart and open a dialogue around those issues. Botswana Football Summit 2024 e tla boela ka di 22 to the 24 tsa March 2024 ko Royal Area Conference Center. It is at this summit where we are targeting your sports administrators, industry leaders in sports, corporate leaders, former players, and current players, coaches, everyone, sport leaders, whoever is involved in sport, they are well catered for within that forum. Going forward, the speakers and the sessional topics that will be held, indeed everyone is catered for.
Right.
And now into festive tournaments. The organizer of the Tamaga annual festive tournament, Tirole Potokisi, says that the tournament has attracted 10 teams and its main aim is to reduce crime, gender-based violence and to unite the community during the festive season. Tlamelo Muntsusi reports.
The 16th edition of Tamaga Annual Festive Tournament has attracted teams from Tamaga, Kumakwane, Ramaphatle, Kutu, Mankanke and Moshopa. The tournament is also used as a way to reduce crime, drugs, alcohol abuse, as well as gender-based violence.
Tournament e kile ra dirisa ele khalemo mo motsi kana kwa 2014 Tamaga na tsweletsegile ka tiro tsene di sa siama tsa bosinyi tsa botlhoka tsebe ne ra dirisa tournament e gore re ala hese mo soleso le gompieko re ntse re dirisa tournament e go ala ga di mo tsone tseo gompieko ka riana re tsameka re betsa re tibang thata le dikgantse le gore di ama botsona ka bophara kanya tiriso ya diritibatsi botlhaswa kanyone ya gender based violence ke ngwa dikgantse le gore re itebagantse le tsone re tana le bae mo tsamo ya tournament ba ntse ba bua ka dikgantsone tse ba bua le tsone le rona re eme ke le morulaganyi mogolo wa tournament yone ke ema ke tsepame gompiego ke re ga ke kgatlhano le kgokgontsho ya bomme ke kgatlhano le tiriso ya diritibatsi mo go heteletseng.
The tournament is sponsored to the tune of 156,000 pula by Sunlex Innovation for Comfort and Safety and will help improve the tournament.
Dio tse dintse di hetogile re na le player man of the match o ile gore in each and every match o tshamekiwang o bona 250 pula re na le individual prizes ba ile gore ke coach of the tournament, best young player, goalkeeper of the tournament, player of the tournament, le top goal scorer. Mongwe mongwe batho ba o bona 1000 player tournament e hell. And not only that, re hetola dio tse dintsi a gompie kwa ana ka re le hanana, we are working so hard because re lemogile gore tournament a re tshameka from Phakela to Maitsiboa batho ba bantsi ba khone go tla ka ntla gore Phakela ba tshwara ke tiro tse dingwe. So se re sira gompie kwa ana re tabogile re batla gore at least semi final ya rona le final ya rona di tshameke bosigo e leng gore tebele a change e leng gore ra go carry from this year going forward because re lemogile gore gongwe batho ba khatlhegela go tla ga setsa le heha go nna Maitsiboa.
In a game played yesterday, Tamaga Blue Aces defeated Kumakwano Salos 2-0.
Because we drew the first two games, and this game was a must-win game. So I think mentally, my boys were ready for this game, and we told ourselves that we want to win the game. And I've picked Kore. The team was a bit slow, and second half, that's why I was putting more pressure on them. My plan was to push them high, pressure every now and then, but it worked for us, and my boys played very, very well. I'm so happy with them.
If we take the game here to Amoro, my players was never let down because the
tournament is expected to end on Friday, and the winner will walk away with 15,000 pula. Tlamelo Muntsusi, BTV Sport, Tamaga.
Gaborone United Communications and Marketing Manager Herbert Letsebe says that despite the few challenges they faced this season, they are happy with the team's performance so far in the Botswana Premier League as they managed to finish the year in second position on the log standings. Let's hear more from Victoria Dagen.
Letsebe noted that they lost some of their key players such as Kennedy Amutenya and Unkabeza Makhantai, something he said will force them to make some changes to the team when the transfer window opens.
Our supporters gore indeed ba sola le go bona difatlhago tse disha ya ka setla aka ngwaga tla bo simolla wa 2024 moana re nonso one is to win trophies, moana re nonso one is to go back ra go compete ko CAF ya ka re sala re buile gore intention ke gore ngwaga le ngwaga re participate mo CAF because that is the only way e leng gore re ka kgona gore re bone performance arna as a club improve.
I'm not unhappy with how we have been doing. I was just
unhappy with the last game that we have played, to be honest. But otherwise, overall, I think we have done our bit with a very thin squad. We have done we have done the best we could have to.
Team Aruna, it's made of young boys, so it's a good thing because team bo prolonged in terms of competitiveness. So I take it as a positive thing.
Moreover, this year, GU faced a number of issues involving players in discipline, something Letsebe said was an issue of concern in the world of football. He added that at GU, they will continue using their code of conduct to take serious action against any form of indiscipline by any of their players.
We are a club we know very well a group of young people of course guidance and as parents, because as we are parents, and ke rona ba ileng gore tshwantse re ba tsenye mo tseleng, ke rona ba ileng gore tshwantse re ba guide, re ba bontshe tsela e siame, and we've mixed that kgang yone ya go ba disciplina la kgang yone gape ya go leka go ba rehabilitate go ba tsenya mo tseleng go ba bontsha gore le tshwantse re le dirana le ska dirana.
In their last game of the year, Moyahole gunned down Security Systems 3-2, a result that leaves them in second position with 23 points from 7 wins, 2 losses and 2 draws in 11 outings. Victoria Dakin, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that is all that we had for you from In Context, the sports desk. Let's meet later on at 5 p.m. for Suzanne News. With that, have a good afternoon. Remember, your safety is your responsibility. Therefore, let's make sure to take care and enjoy responsibly during this festive season. With that, good afternoon. Kaelo Sabone as well as Khomotsago are on standby to continue with In Context here on BTV News Channel. #Ikanyorona.
The L'Oreal Foundation is awarding and celebrating women in science for the last 25 years. The reason for it, women scientists were made invisible for as long as science exists. Their discoveries and contributions were hindered, silenced, even stolen. And to change this, it's not just about an issue of equality or more equal societies. It is about better science for all.
I do research that is mostly focused on food safety measures. The aim is to develop adsorbents or materials that can be able to remove toxins from food, preferably maize and sorghum right now, because these are the staple food sources in our country and also in Africa, but they are very much susceptible to fungal infestation and mycotoxin contamination. So my study focuses on finding sustainable measures to remove these toxins. This award recognizes and awards young talents in Africa for their scientific work, and it is an award that is going to help me take my research forward, because it is funding which is going to support my research. This is the money that I'm going to be using to buy reagents, be able to access some instruments from outside, be able to pay for them and advance my research, because right now we have a problem with funding. I am currently self-sponsored, and so you can imagine how difficult it is to support my tuition fees and also to buy some stuff needed for my project. And with this money, then I can be able to fill up the gaps. I'm going to be able to fill up the gaps and be able to complete my studies. Being a girl, you are faced with a lot of challenges. A lot of social obligations are there, and I just want to say to the young girls out there, don't be afraid to get into science, because there is support out there.
I started my academic journey at the University of Botswana in 2011 when I was pursuing my undergraduate degree in biological sciences. And then I completed that in 2015, did a bit of research with the Botswana Harvard Health Partnership. And in 2018, I got to pursue my master's in medical biosciences, which was in the University of Bradford in the UK. And in 2021, I then began my PhD in medical sciences again at the University of Botswana. And in my PhD project, I'm really looking at the prevalence of hepatitis B virus among people living with HIV in 30 rural and peri-urban communities in Botswana. Essentially, my project is trying to look at the prevalence of hepatitis B virus among people living with HIV. And I'm pursuing this project because we really don't have that data in the whole country. And we need that data for us to be able to assess the burden of the disease in our population so that we can become closer to the elimination of viral hepatitis in the country and globally. So essentially, this project will first give the data that we need as a country. But secondly, onto that, I'm also sequencing the hepatitis B virus to actually see the viral characteristics that allow it to persist in our population, because the viral strains that are circulating in any population actually have clinical significance.
So this recognition will give me some visibility across the world, so I can get more collaborations with other researchers around the world. And there is a funding also with this recognition that will help me to continue my research, that one I started, and to finish it, to try and to see if at the end we get something like. Actually, in Africa, we noticed that cardiovascular diseases are going to be the most important diseases in Africa because we changed our way of life. So people are not just eating like in a good way. And in the future, it's gonna be the first cause of death. So that's why I think we should start to find some solution from now, not waiting for the time it will become.
We realize that there are a number of people who are living below their physical capabilities because of nutrient deficiencies, and among them is a cleft lip palate. The issue is that this condition develops between 6 to 8 weeks, and most pregnancies are not planned. So by the time people realize that they are even pregnant, it will be about 2 to 3 months. And if they have some nutrient deficiencies, those conditions may have developed already. So we are looking at how diet before pregnancy can affect the risk of this condition in children. I'm optimizing human development throughout their life cycles.
Right now, I'm at the hospital in Mau. I have a network of Wi-Fi. I have a network of Wi-Fi. Ke ntse ke le gone mo Letsholo Thabeng ke tswa mo dithusong tsa me ke bo ke nna hantle ke dirisa Wi-Fi e mo Letsholo Thabeng e botlhokwa hela thata e botlhokwa mo le gore o kgona go dira ditiro tsa gago tsotlhe mo especially gongwe o le motho wa business o kgona go tsena mo Wi-Fi ke Wi-Fi ya mahala o dira sengwe le sengwe se o batlang go se dira mo go sone.
It's a very good initiative actually from the government to help us with it. We can easily access information, and it also helps us to stay home and avoid doing bad things. And then normally these days you can learn a lot of things through Wi-Fi. I think they should simply improve it and so that you cannot work from home to come to the hospitals. Maybe they can widen it and then we access it from home.
The internet has helped a lot of us in terms of researching, in terms of good application and send good application.
With smart sports, it's a pleasure to me. So smart sports if you feel for example, you go from 5 yana, you can batla di past papers online, and look if kinezo topic ke sa tlhaloganye ka yone ke research and I get more information than or teacher aban tuta
re dirisa maranyana smart bots for research na ngwe re na le molwetse gona di case re sa tlhaloganye sente re research ka yone ga gona le sengwe dikgang re bala dikgang mo di computereng re dirisa yone le ka di cell phone
a sa re ke re ne lo di laptop ke gona go understand like go tlhaloganya dio sentle tse go
ke tsisa ngwana homework ne ke tsile go dirisa Google gore ke research dilo tse leng gore
gore ga rena dibuka tsa teng ya no re researcha ka internet.
Smart boards ke series go researcha during mo di assignment tsa ka go school ha ke sa tlhaloganya teng ke tsena mo smart boards ke a google be ke bona di answer.
Wi-Fi ra itse re te ra idirisa le di client le tsone di a idirisa re kgona go bona di post mo di Facebook re kgona go chata ko le masika le ditsala ko WhatsApp le mo Facebook.
We are going to use it, especially that nowadays schools have a problem of shortage of textbooks. So teachers and students are going to research and check for the topics, teachers preparing for the students, and students reading to understand what the teachers have taught them. Students' learning will be enhanced. Like after the teacher teaches, students will get into the internet and broaden their understanding by researching on the same topic that the teacher taught.
Smart boards chekuti tinokwanisa kuwana mabasa taura namashamwari zvakanaka pasina kushandisa mari.
Na ke nna ntse ba pile le Pico Primary ha ke le mo jareteng ke nna mo go yona ke tsa yala ka ho ke tsa 24/7 a gona tsatsi la mahala ke ba ka nyetsa batho dikolo ha go le tsietsa ke a google.
Now, on the 20th of December last year, the Ministry of Trade and Industry imposed restrictions on importation of school uniform, shocking both retailers and consumers. The ban remains in place 1 year later. We look at how this ban has impacted the sector and find out if supply